What's up, guys? 412 Sports Cards here today, back with another video. And today, coming at you with a video on the PSA grading pause. But what can you do? What are the implications of this? So, I know I'm a little late to the party. We all know PSA hiked, or didn't hike those prices. They already did that. They suspended all grading below Super Express, I believe until July. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about, is this good for the hobby? Is it not good for the hobby? I'm not here to engage in that dialogue today, maybe another time, but today I'm going to talk about what this means for you and some tips to navigate this change in the hobby. Some practical ways to add value for you, some stuff that I don't think the other guys are talking about, and without further ado, let's get into it. Tip number 1, do not send to lower tier companies instead. This could, obviously we all know that I'm filming this on Thursday, but SGC hiked those prices up from 25 to 75 for their lowest submission level, which is absurd. They're essentially a non-factor now. But I'm talking Beckett, CGC, HGA. I know HGA has caps, so really just Beckett and CGC. There's a serious issue in the value of their slabs. I've got like all these old David Ortiz cards of mine slabbed up by Beckett, just what was the popular slab at the time. But the values on these are really harmed because they're in a Beckett slab. They do not sell for nearly what they would for a PSA at the same grade, or honestly, sometimes this 8.5 I bet would sell better as a PSA 8 than a Beckett 8.5. But just the value isn't there on these secondary companies, and you guys know that. But the other factor that you got to be thinking about, even if that's the value isn't your main determining factor, is how big their backlog is going to be. PSA is eating up like 90% of the sports card grading demand, and they're gone for a couple months, out of the picture. Those other guys are going to have to feed all that demand. SGC basically bowed out today. Is basically what happened when they raised the price to 75. They're like, no, we're not going to get backlogged again. We're just going to raise our prices to such a stupidly high level for our service that no one will send in. So Beckett, who is already terribly behind, is going to get absolutely slammed. They don't have the resources to get out of the backlog either. They've had these enormous backlogs already. They don't even have anywhere near the means of PSA to dig themselves out of a backlog. And as we've seen over the past months, PSA could barely do it without stopping the company. So, without stopping submissions. So, I think that you'd be in for a long wait. And you think about it a little bit, waiting is a serious issue right now in today's card market. With prices kind of falling on a lot of stuff, it's not exactly a period of time in which you want to be speculating on what the market's going to look like in an entire year, which is, I think, what you're doing if you're sending to Beckett right now. Honestly, I think Beckett could be worse than a year. It could be longer. That's kind of what you're doing if you're sending off right now. And in a period of falling prices, it's a little scary to speculate on what the market will look like that far away. Between the low values, the severe backlogs coming, and just fear of having cards out of your hands for so long, I would not be sending to these lower tier companies. That's one thing you guys can be doing right now. Number 2, this is my favorite point that I'm going to make today. These last two are kind of innovative, but I have such strong conviction in this. Clean out the slabs you're getting back from PSA ASAP. PSA's been backlogged for a long time, and they've been trying to speed up their grading, and the backlog still stayed massive because so much is coming in. And we sit here in the hobby and we say, are we in a junk slab era? Look at the pops on 2019 Prism. They're sky high. And there's so many things with so many high pops. People are grading junk, but it still sells for like 40 or 50 bucks in like a PSA 10. I've always been worried about this, particularly for stuff that I have some interest in, like Prism, Optics, Select. But the backlog has continued to exist. They just petering it out slowly. Stuff's coming out. It seemed like PSA was controlling almost how much was coming out so that these pops didn't balloon overnight and kind of destroy the market. Because, I think they're able to charge so much because the market has high prices. So they don't want to destroy the market. But I haven't had fear of them creating a sudden shock to pops because it seems that they've had them trickle out. Well, that fear is very real right now because there's going to be a massive return of all these cards sent in late 2020 and early 2021 because you don't have anything new coming in. Nothing new at like regular or express is going to be taking precedence. Those value subs, those economy subs are going to start getting pumped out. And if you own stuff that's decently high pop, think 2019 Prism Optics, Select, really any set, hoops, who knows. But anything that's not middle to high end, I'd be selling ASAP. For example, I've got stuff like this LeBron Revolution PSA 10. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy the card. I like the back, and I think the back looks really cool with the fun colors, but like, it's worth like $50 or $60 in a PSA 10, probably $60 in a PSA 10. It's pop of 6,000. There are a ton at PSA. I know guys who have a decent amount of these out, who've subbed a lot of them. Pop's going up, and $50 or $60, just gonna sell it. If I want the card for my PC, I'll just buy it raw for way cheaper. And you know what? The more I think about it, you think, say there are another 4,000 of these at PSA. Who's buying those 4,000? Who's buying all these slabs that are coming back from PSAs? That the thinking is someone is, right? But who's going to buy all these slabs? We all just assume someone's out there to buy our slabs. Well, when so many come back, are there going to be the buyers? I don't know. Certainly not at the prices that these cards have today once those pops get sky high. And that scares me. Honestly, if you have any PSA junk, I don't know. Hesitate to call this junk. I mean, it toes the line. I like the card, but $50 or $60 for just like a base card from a not main set in a 10. I get it's first Lakers, but like still, I just clear out all your stuff like that you have. I would do it immediately before this backlog starts getting cleared out fast, because you do not want to get caught up in that sell-off. I think prices are going to fall as the backlog gets eaten up on this high pop stuff. And honestly, I would just get out of it as soon as you can. If you're still with me, drop a like, drop a sub. I appreciate you hanging in there for me with this video. I'm going to try to speed it up for you in the second half. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how I'm doing, all right? So thank you. Tip 3. Be skeptical about ripping wax. Go into it with the full expectation of losing money, especially on stuff like Topps flagship Prism. Ripping wax has always been kind of a risky gamble, right? And recently, wax prices have basically priced in the ability to grade stuff. Now, if current prices don't fall, you're basically paying for that, that with that grading priced in, but you can't do that for a couple months, which is a serious issue if you're trying to get your money back in a timely manner. So I think there are a couple things that could happen here. One of them is if prices don't fall, you should probably just stay away from wax. And unless you got unlimited money, or unless you really just don't care at all about getting your money back. I care some. Like, I rip it for fun, but like also would like to make some money back. I'd like to keep some cards, maybe sell one of the big ones, help pay for it a little, but if they do fall in the short run to adjust like for the short term, like decreased value of ripping wax, I think it might be a chance to buy some wax at bargain prices to hold. I think it's kind of an interesting play. I'll be curious to see if it happens. Like, what if this box falls like $40? I don't know. I feel like it could. You can't grade any of this right now, really, with any decent company. PSA is the only decent company in my opinion. So like, if they fall like $30 or $40, maybe go out and buy some of those. I don't know. I think it's a cool play. And last play, kind of quick. I'll just go through it quick. Buy raw. People opening boxes like that, they're going to be clean raw cards out on eBay more than there ever have been. With grading becoming a non-factor for a lot of cards, I think you're going to see a lot of them shopped on eBay. You're going to see a higher percentage of clean cards out on eBay, way higher than you would normally. And that matters. So if you don't mind holding away to grade them later, or you just enjoy a good raw card, might be the time for you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just some more nuanced thoughts on what the PSA grading suspension means for the common man like us. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.